ridiculous, Abraham. I would not look at the
everything. I feel like everything.
My phone found the moon. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Everything that we feed to Junior, we need to write on it. Like I wrote Dr. C.P. Healing formula on my water. Everything that we put in him, you need to affirm.
It's not, on my phone, it look like the moon is almost, it's a circle, but up there, it's like a half. When you look at your naked eye. You gotta chill, man.
I can see the full circle though.
Because you cannot get from there. You could ask the most deep, concerning, important questions, and we know you are articulate, and you could do it. And we are infinite intelligence. We've got a backup system that we can't even begin to describe to you. There isn't anything that you want to know that we don't know. But when you ask and we answer, we can't make you hear. We can't get you to understand that you've got to change your vibration, which means you've got to do what Jesus said. You've got to turn the other cheek. You've got to look away from what's got you all wadded up, that's got your shield up, because the answers have been coming to you for a long time. We've never known anyone more in earnest. We've never known anybody who more wanted to know than you. But you cannot stand in that wadded up place and hear. Even though Esther's finding the words, we're giving the knowing to Esther. She's finding the words for you. And even though the words are loud in your ear and everyone else, you cannot hear those words if you're on a different vibrational frequency. It sounds like blah, 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 blah. You couldn't even feel the earnestness with which we were offering it. Felt to you like we were making fun of you. Felt to you like we don't care about you. And there is nothing further from the truth than that. There is nothing further from the truth. Source adores you and wants with everything that we are for you to find a way of letting the burden of not letting yourself go, of letting the burden of being angry at others go. Because as you carry it around, all it does is shield you from the well-being and the clarity and the love and the stability that you want so much.
It's like I'm not to get my kids because I know I am, and yeah, I wanted to be with my kids when I was little. I always wanted to be a father. I'm not shocked, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes it'd be like I have to remind myself to stop getting so frustrated about proving yourself.
Many years ago, when
in some of the highlights of my life, I had to do that.
She was
I never really forget transferring high schools and learning to still play sports and knowing like it's politics to this shit. And I ain't been in this school zone long enough for me to even think about trying to start. I'm really gonna have to dominate out this motherfucker in order for them to even see me on the practice field. So shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. At least a month, I felt like, at least it felt like to me, I didn't even get to practice. Other than just standing there watching, you know, the seniors and shit. I'm like, hell no. You know, I used to this shit, but because it wasn't my norm, I was able to fight through that shit.
We couldn't really
would have accepted if I was used to that shit.
So we said to her, let's talk about something else. And she was annoyed at the idea that we would take her valuable time and talk about something other than the thing that she wanted to hammer about. She said, like what? And we said, well, we would like to talk to you about blue glass. And she was not wanting to hear about blue glass. We talked about it anyway. We talked about the texture of glass, the density of glass, the way light flows through glass, the variety of blues. And her understanding did not become more, but we were wanting to make her understand that we were so certain that she couldn't get to where she wanted to go, the route she was taking, that we were going to lead her in a whole different way, and it was the way of distraction. When you've got about it, because when someone says don't think about that, you're just thinking about what you're not wanting to think about even more.
Right.
Esther remembers Tracy always wanted to ride the little rocking horse every single time. And
That's
so
how I felt
Esther
about
got
seeing
so
it.
when she got near the rocking
When I
horse,
was
Esther
Christian,
told
it's
us
like,
about
bro,
that Tracy was
after
not
a
so
while, I'm
aware
like,
of the rocking horse, but it was
we
distraction
seeking
was
unseen.
better than what might be. So then we said, now we'd like to talk to you about butterflies
Shit.
again. But we talked about butterflies for well over a minute, and then she wasn't arguing with us quite so much, and so then we said, now we'd like to talk to you about feathers.
We talk about everything.
About then, the time was supposed to end, and she was not getting the answers that she wanted, and she couldn't hear the answers that we were offering anyway, and so the conversation and Esther found Jerry, and they went to have lunch. They were in San Diego, so they drove over to La Jolla, and they were going to have lunch at
You turned away from the moon?
They parked the car at the La Valencia Hotel, and as they got out of the car, Esther said to Jerry, come with me, please come with me. And Jerry was hungry. He was ready to go to lunch. And said, just for a minute, please, come with me, come with me. Esther didn't know what this impulse was about. She just had this powerful impulse to go into this beautiful store. Now that seems logical. It's not the first time Esther dragged him kicking and screaming into a store. But this was different. This was different. This was an impulse that was coming from someplace else. This was an impulse that wasn't coming out of her conscious mind. It wasn't coming as a spin-off of Esther's thoughts. This was coming from within her. It was an urge greater than any urge that she'd ever had, and she had to go into that store. So she went into the store, Jerry followed her in, and she came back into the very last room of the store. And there was a wall of blue glass, the likes of which she'd never seen. And do you know, Esther did not make the correlation. Because when she's speaking for us, she's not fully present as you might be. And so she didn't even realize what the blue glass was about, but there was something about seeing it that was utterly satisfying. And Jerry said to her, you don't even like blue glass. And Esther said, I know, but look at it. And he said, I'm looking at it, I'm still hungry. And Esther said, all right, let's go. So they went, and they had a wonderful lunch at George's. And then they went down to the cove. Not a long walk, a walk they've taken many times. And as they walked across the apron of grass, they were surrounded by a flurry of butterflies. It was so intense that they had to stop talking to each other, which was also rare, in order to not eat butterflies. It was fun. It was exhilarating. It was unusual. It was incredible. It was amazing. It was so satisfying. Although Esther did not know why. It was like, what is this that is happening to us? Two people walking with thousands of butterflies walking with them, surrounding them, weaving in and out of everything that they are. And then the butterflies lifted, and a little boy starts coming across the lawn. And Jerry said, Esther, it's like he knows you. And Esther said, I know. And he walked up to Esther and handed her a feather. And then, the most satisfying exchange Esther's ever lived. Because in 1, 2, 1, 6, 2.
1 minute. 1 minute. I appreciate y'all coming in this morning. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Drop a comment, say what's up. It's my way of saying what's up to y'all. But of course, you know, this morning we on that take that show, you know, talking about not focusing on your problem so much.
He gotta take his kids to school and shit. Yeah.
Just tap in with me. Tap
Send him
in.
a text though, okay?
Hold on,
The
pause.
wisdom of what we were doing with that woman. Esther,
You know, longing to do something that life is telling you to hold up on. Because believe it or not, times we don't be having no job, we really be needing that recovery, bro. You think about them people who work their whole life for real, bro?
Hell yeah.
Like, them niggas don't make it long, bro. And if they do, they be on some other shit by the time they retire. Like, when they well, not everybody, let's make sure to make that clear. But a large majority of people are programmed to the point, once they've been working their whole life, shit, by the time they retire, they don't know what the fuck to do with themselves. And it's like they drop as a result of not having nothing to do with themselves.
No, I feel like that. Every time I get a job, I try not to go back to work ever.
No, I'm just saying, like, the program shit be deep for some people to the point they they can't shake it.
Program is deep to some people. Tell them they program, they are highly offended.
True, that too.
So like they like, yeah, what are you saying about me?
And for some people, we get programmed on that participation certificate or trying to do what everybody, make sure you're doing what everybody else doing, so kind of about to say shit to you. You know, I noticed that shit like when I was like, damn, we got a whole generation of people wearing shoes that they don't even know why niggas wearing that shit. You know what I'm saying? But then I had to go back to my childhood and be like, dang, we was doing shit. We didn't even know while we was doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it was when we came into existence. So for anybody to act like you're not part of the program, you definitely being programmed. You know what I'm saying? Like, people who recognize the program is because we recognize we done been programmed. And we deprogramming ourselves or reverse engineering ourselves. But we ain't sitting up here like, no, not me. They ain't get me. I got lucky. Like, no, everybody got a little bit of the program. And even if it's as simple as you part of this, you part of this society where we all, you know, be affected by each other's decisions and shit. So when you think about that shit, it's like, man, you gotta keep that shit in mind, and it's best to stay balanced about shit in life. Like, all that, like, having feelings about shit, that's cool, feel that shit. But when you make your move, be balanced.
We're supposed to be able to, that's why we have to master our emotions, because we don't have feelings about everything. We don't have negative emotions, positive emotions.
And let your emotions work for you, not work you.
You gotta learn how to tame them motherfuckers and how to react, how to
like the whole, you feel me? Like at times that nigga get so mad, after a while, he start realizing like, dang, hold on. When I need this shit, that's when I'm gonna get mad type of shit. Like if somebody really trying to hurt me or I need to get something done, this motherfucker turn into the hoe. You get mad. No different than, you know, a method actor. Somebody who can channel certain memories when it's time for them to play a certain role. What? Okay. It'll definitely help, probably. Well, it'll help period, because it needed. One of the things niggas supposed to get done when you get a car, but you know how that go. Last night. Whoa. See what happened here. Nigga tried to turn and the shit said no.
oh, so we just did that one thing.
Man, I'm talking about did that one thing. And left his tire on the curb.
Yeah, shit pop out like.
Yeah, that's, man, to me, that's a result of these streets.
It is. All this shit is a result of these streets.
Like, man, y'all should be able to. The city should be buying y'all cars at this point. Like, this shit ridiculous.
Door now.
You feel me? I know Abraham for the pigs.
doesn't know if that woman
Let me
ate
know if
butter
you need me to
that
come
day,
in.
or if she saw blue glass, or someone handed her that. But Hester knows that these topics that were activated in her vibration were satisfied by the laws of the universe. They always, always are. If you want to see beauty in the world, you've got to focus on something that you feel is beautiful. Or you have to focus on nothing at all. You don't have to focus
Can you hand
on
me that
beautiful,
notebook and
but you
book off
can't
the floor,
focus on
please? Don't
problems
step on
and
it.
find beautiful. If we had talked to that
She
woman
handed me the
about her
notebook and,
problems,
and
her
food.
problems would have
I
followed
mean,
her in a
why
more
do we
sure
need to
way
be stepped
than
on
I
if she could
ever
just hand it
have
to
been.
us?
You
Thank
don't
you.
want lots
not
of
that
mind.
hard.
That's what we were talking about
It's a
earlier.
simple
When
pen.
you are not in vibrational sync with who you really are, you don't want to focus upon your topic.
Thank you.
That's why sometimes you come to these gatherings and it takes a little while for you to realize that
Just
we
sit
are
on the
really
pillow.
not wanting you to come
Just
to
sit
the
on the
stage
pillow.
so that we as a group can compound the problem that you have. We're wanting you
I want
to
to
float
scoot
in
over
the
to the
butterflies
pillow.
that the group is. We're wanting you to see the blue glass that is all around. We're wanting you to feel the love that is flowing towards you. We're wanting you to soften up your resistance so that you can let in what you well deserve, so that you can let in what you've well decided, so that the things that you want can come to you. They're coming to you, but nothing gets in. Nothing becomes a reality that you don't translate through your own vibration. And as humans, you don't know that because you look around and you see all of these things that you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch. So you have a misunderstanding of what reality is and how it got there. Everything that exists in this time-space reality was created by someone who
That's
attention
enough.
to
I'm
it.
about to
Enough
freeze
attention to
tuna.
it
Say
that
some
it
good.
became a tangible experience for you, you see. So when you make a decision to be born into this body, you said, I'll come into this
Unlock the
physical
door,
body,
Mama.
and I'll go, this physical body that will be tangible, and I'll go
It's
into
unlocked.
this sea of creation, and from it, I will come to my own personal conclusions
Okay, we about to
of
get
what
Junior
I
in the
want
car,
to give
y'all.
my attention to. And you knew that you were coming into a stable environment, in an environment where there was so much more well-being than not, in an environment where your planet would continue to spin in its perfect orbit, in perfect relationship to other planets. You knew that the water of your planet would be here, that it would continue to be here, that it just wouldn't float off into some other atmosphere. You knew that the food of this planet would be here, and that there was enough to sustain you, and you knew that the peoples of the world would move around in clusters, and that they would find things to think about, and that they would attract it to themselves. And you knew that you would witness all of that. But you also knew that while you were witnessing it, that you would feel within yourself emotional guidance that was coming from your inner being, who is witnessing everything with you. Everything that you witness, your inner being witnesses too. And when you say, I hate that person, your inner being is saying, I love that person. And when you're saying, I can't do this, your inner being is saying, you can do this. When you're saying, I'm not sure, your inner being is saying, I am sure. When you're saying, I don't know, your inner being is saying, I know. When you're saying, that's not good, your inner being is saying, that is good. There is good in that. Your inner being is always there. But humans, so often, we love you so much, you have let the disconnected tune your frequency. You've let the worried tune them. You've let the haters tune you. You've let those who don't know tune you. And then you come to talk to us, and we say, it's all right. And you say, no, it isn't. And we say, it's getting better. And you say, I can't see it. And we say, you are good. And you say, I'm not sure. And we say, you are a creator. And you say, I see no evidence. And so it takes a little while for us to offer the true vibration of who you are. And if you listen, and you have, as you listen and you allow the vibration of that which your source knows begin to resonate with you, every now and again you catch a glimpse. You allow yourself to be the witness of the thought feelings within, and then you know. Then it's not just something that somebody else is saying to you. It's something that you know because it's come from the inside of you.
You're focused on the health, happiness, growth, and success of your child. So are we. We're University Hospital's Rainbow Babies and Children's, and we are here for you.
Interested in modeling and acting? Calling all kids and teens. Barbizon is your best first step. Plus, it's so much more more than just reading the script or walking
We all are.
If I was honest about confidence and personal.
Today you gonna buy me a Pyro and a World Bank and a World Giant. I wrote Spider-Man on my notebook for him.
I heard it for you, Junior. You don't gotta hold it. Hold your comfort.
But look, wanna draw something in my notebook?
Do you believe that you can create buttons?
Hold this.
No, you got the notebook.
Believe that you can create castles? You believe that you can create buttons?
Well, I got a pencil.
Hey, Junie.
Do you believe that buttons are important to create?
You're gonna draw them.
Does everything have to be bouncing off the
You gonna let him draw on your
enthusiasm?
notebook for a little bit?
Is there power in satisfaction?
They ain't had no notebooks that
Do
was
you
just
like
plain.
molding the clay of your mind?
Oh, Junie, I do got a notebook for you. Here.
Do you think that you need to think more?
Here, look,
Or
you got his
rest
own notebook. Brand new.
Do you think that you need to try harder or try less? Do you associate trying with action or thinking?
Oh, here's a pencil for you.
Be careful
You
with
need
that
to
pencil,
try
I
okay?
had that pencil
to think
in
better
this,
thoughts?
but I didn't see it. I got a pencil for
It was a trap.
You
need to try to think better thoughts? Or do you need to relax
Every
into
time
better
I
thoughts?
forget, speaking of
Will the better thought
notebook,
come
where's
with
my
relaxation?
notebook?
Is a better thought already there? Is a better thought a manifestation that will flow into the
Shut the
grid if you
door.
allow? So, you think that you get more done
Actually, I got a
with
lot of
your
pages blank
long
there.
list of things you need to do? Or do you get more done by allowing yourself more leeway?
I feel like the sassy was screaming the whole time. Where yourself?
If we were standing in Melissa's shoes, we would
Oh, and last night the girls started crying so loud because they heard mommy said,
decide to be
"Hello,
lazy.
police. These three niggas are here."
What was y'all doing?
I'm like, she ain't called police for real.
What was y'all doing?
They wouldn't be quiet. Mama kept crying. She kept crying, Mama.
Why you was crying?
She kept crying, Mama. Then she thought then Sparky started as soon as they heard, "Hello, police."
Yes, Junie.
And then we went downstairs. Because Ashley, do you like rolling the surface? And I would listen to her, and then we all fell asleep. You know? Yeah. Hey, dinosaur, run out. Because I keep seeing up on the stairs, so they'll keep calling the police. Because I know she didn't call police for real. I need my bedroom. Oh, daddy. Hi, Dad.
You ready?
I'm going to start drawing my picture.
Oh, shoot. Get nice and toes.
I'm a dinosaur, Daddy.
No,
I ain't got no
sick.
service.
What are you two dinosaurs? Hey,
All right, peace to the family coming
are
in.
you?
I am. That's all loud, baby. Everybody, we can hear you.
I'm gonna try to draw you.
You should be extra careful.
Blow out. Yeah, blow out.
I should be extra careful. I said, just be careful, please.
Or rest
Look at you, what I made.
To the stop sign.
Do you think that you need
I'm
to
not-
try harder
I said,
or
okay.
try less?
I didn't see.
Do you associate trying with
Stop making
action
big deal out of
or thinking?
it. I just said
You
something.
need to
I wasn't
try
saying nothing in reference to
to
nothing
think
you
better
doing. Just
thoughts.
said, let's try to be careful. I don't want to even have to say why.
It was a trap. Or do you need to relax?
I'm gonna ask you driving. Like this back and forth right now.
Relaxation. Is a better thought already there? Is a better thought a manifestation that will flow in?
Bad
Get more done with your long list of things you
Can't
need to
get back to
do?
you
Or do you get more done? If we were standing represented in your physical
Never
shoes.
need
You
blow
include
nose that.
That's what he said. I need to talk to him.
Daddy gotta pick up a few other things in there
the
too.
word lazy has a connotation because it's humans measuring themselves against other humans based upon a flawed premise. The flawed premise is the more you do, the more you're worth. And that is the most flawed of all flawed premises. I'd like to give you the premise is at the basis of your universe. The better you feel, the more you allow. You could not be more deserving. You came as deserving beings into this in-space reality. Mixing up with others and defining what's important, not only to you personally,
Sure,
but
happening.
to you on behalf of others. In some cases,
That's cool.
family, but you've included in your vortex a desire
So
for
hit
the
that like
well-being
button when you come in,
far
family.
more than your personal self. But it is necessary for you
I
to
could
tend
sound out my
to the
words.
well-being
I
of your
could sound
personal
out
self
words.
in order to be
That's
I
good,
think you
man.
can do that.
for the well-being for you. In other words, you cannot give, or you cannot extend, or you cannot punctuate, or you cannot
Huh?
accentuate, you cannot
Once you join,
I just had it.
I'm saying what? There's always a little weird zone right there.
I don't have sorries on Broadway.
assist anything that you are not already doing. Which means if you are wanting in an altruistic way to be of advantage,
You have a drawing on the plate down. You got a B right here, and I got a B right here. I got 2 O's. I got 2 O's. It's fine. You got a K, and I got a J. They're all the same. Baby, okay, I'm gonna get back to you. I'll get a shot. I'll make you ready to roll. I feel like you.
Sometimes everything's in life you won't put.
my expectation that I will be able to accomplish this. I just have to insert one thing in the foreground.
Good job,
of this
Sam.
request. I'll accomplish it for you as long as I can first accomplish it for myself. I really want you to ponder that image. Esther, on one of the earlier cruises, made sure that everyone received an easy button from Staples. Everyone got them. And Esther found a box of them in the attic the other day, and she spread them all around her house
I just said
because
please
she
stop.
wants to amplify the ease of things.
I need y'all to pay attention to each other and cut that out.
She wants to no longer justify the
Steady.
that flows to her by pointing out how
Hit that like button when y'all come in, drop a comment, say what's
she
up.
wants to
That's my way of saying
emphasize
what's up.
the
Let's get
well-being that's
up.
flowing to her. Standing in your physical shoes, we would do these things every
That's
day,
very
and
sweet of
then
you.
anything else that you have time for. We would meditate for 15 minutes every day, which means we would quiet our mind with the simple intention of allowing our cork to flow. We would go outside no matter what the weather, and we'd move around in it in appreciation of this planet. We would look up and around, and we would find things to acknowledge, and we would talk about them right out loud. Esther walks through her gardens and says to everything, "You are my favorite. You are my favorite. You are my favorite. You are my favorite. You are my favorite stone on the pathway. You are my favorite bird in the tree. You are my favorite flower in bloom. You are my favorite flower in autumn. You are my favorite tree. You are my favorite bush. You are my favorite frog. You are my favorite frog. You kept me awake all night, but you are still my favorite frog." In other words, so first thing, meditate. Second thing, spend more time outside. Third thing, we would buy a notebook. We would call it the Book of Positive Aspects. And we would fill at least 3, 4, 5 is even better, pages of positive aspects. 5 different subjects, and write the positive aspects. Training your vibration into that upward place. And then there is one last thing that if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would do every single day.
Look what I want to remember.
We would look upward and outward. Best to do it outside instead of and we would acknowledge that there are universal forces that are focused right at you. We would acknowledge by calling it by name, if you have a name that you like, and we would say, "I acknowledge that I am the object of your positive attention, and I'm appreciating your continual gaze on behalf of my well-being. And today, no matter where I am, no matter where I am going, no matter what I am doing, and no matter who I am doing it with, I will be in conscious awareness that you too are there with me, appreciating me, supporting me, assisting me, acknowledging me, inspiring me, guiding me, having fun with me, acknowledging me, supporting me, assisting me, inspiring me, helping me, guiding me, aware of me, loving me, showing me, inspiring me, guiding me, helping me, uplifting me, showing me. Get into an endless loop of that acknowledgement and watch what begins to happen in your life as soon as this day.
Instead of water.
Your vortex is filled to the brim with specific requests that
So we gotta go ahead and wash our hands.
and that you are deserving of the realization of. And it's time for those realizations
Just how you climb.
to be flooding into your experience at a rate that will astonish those who surround you. It's time for you to remember what you've put there and bring it forward active into your today experience. We've been talking to you all day from our appreciation of who you are. But even as we express it from our powerful point of knowing. We know that you don't yet know.
Actually, I'm already running out of pages.
You
Why?
don't, for the most part, understand
What do you
the
mean, why?
important role you play.
Why are you
in the
already
expansion
running out of
our
pages?
beliefs. And we stand as the beneficiaries.
That's not how you use a notebook.
Huh?
That's not how you use a notebook. I
It is our powerful
have
desire that you now
3 pages,
Hearing your
4
physical
pages
bodies.
written on.
allow yourselves to be the
They
recipient
aren't even
of
filled up.
the physical
I'm
manifestation
not
of
filled
those
up
two
either.
natures.
I don't know what to tell you. Once you fill it up, it's
I
filled.
didn't say all go
Actually,
forth
your
and
notebook
fill
is
up
the
your
same
hearts
as mine.
full of things that I care
I
about
know.
and deny myself of the realization of them. You said, I'll go forth
I
and I'll
got
experience
stumbled
the
in here.
fullness of
I
that.
went.
And so as we visit with
I
you here
found it
today,
out and then I was
it is our
right in
acknowledgement
there.
that in these hours that we've been together, because of the willingness of you to listen and play with us, and because of the willingness of those to ask the questions in the way that you have, it's our knowing that your vibration is shifted to a new place. And it is our expectation that your expectation is also shifted. Your life is forever changed, and we don't say that to everyone. We don't say it every seminar. We don't say it every time, but it is true today. Watch for the evidence of it. There is great love here. And as always, we remain in the book.
When you do a job, you
Did she
pay
talk about?
always pay a
I
price.
don't think I heard
When
the
you
part
do
I
a
was
job
trying
that
to hear.
gives you meaning and
I was trying to
purpose
find
and
that part.
makes your
Let me
heart
see.
sing, you never
That was
really
on
feel
the
like you're
video.
working hard.
Yeah.
So I have
Let me see
created a
phone.
phenomenal training in something called rapid travel.
This is what I said before today. Look, Dad. This is what I said before.
Oh. And what's that? Should have been right in here.
It's like 4 days ago.
That's what it says.
Got a whole day listen or something?
I played the video already that you wanted to hear already. The video about stop worrying about negative problems or something. That's the title of the video. It's like the 3rd video at the top.
I don't know, but I'm still trying to find the first time that you played it. Because the video didn't look like that.
The reason why I don't like selling pictures that's because I can't put my one size of blue, so I don't like that much pictures color. And sometimes I don't feel like color.
I am a little bit confusing, fits into my personal life too, about turning the other cheek kind of thing, rather being combative, and getting out of the vortex by people, as I perceive, attacking me kind of thing, and just responding to that rather than turning the other cheek.
You got pencils?
So turning the other cheek to you means just
Oh, you
Watch.
It means not doing nasty things in traffic when the guy cuts you off, you know, kind of thing. And it means at work when people are disrespectful or courteous to me, people that I perceive that could be innocent. You know, rather than going off in my mind, thinking about what I'm going to do to those people that are insulting me, I think it's holding me back from just participating
like a
in
human
the
squirrel.
vortex experience, because that just throws me up.
here's the most important thing to
I wonder what that
understand
drive
about
is like.
this. happen. It's out of gear, it has no brake, and you begin to nudge it and it begins to roll. And you catch it early, you get out in front of it, just let it go against you. It's easy to stop. But if you're at the bottom of the hill trying to stop it, it's a problem. Because the momentum is powerful. So if you are not tending to your vibration, not paying attention to how you feel, so you're putting up with negative emotion, enduring it, allowing yourself to experience it and not doing anything about changing your focus or your perspective or find yourself more enlightened, then that momentum of resistance is going to get stronger and stronger until there very likely will be an incident. And it is not at that point that we would ever ask anyone to try to restrain themselves. You're asking them to
so we be ready to go
it's like saying, allow the momentum
almost
to
there.
ensue, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Now there's lots of moving parts. At
Make
that
sure
point,
you're ready when
I
you
should
pull
all
up.
of a
I need
sudden
y'all paying
just shut off
attention.
my vibration.
Yes, sir.
No, that really takes a full night's sleep. What you're probably going to do is just either hit or run. What we're saying is, if you wait until the momentum is such, then there often are no really good choices. There's always a better choice. There's always the path of least resistance. And it always would be better to pull the punch rather than follow through with the punch. Or it's better not to get your own teeth knocked out. In other words, there is always a better choice and a worse choice. But in all of that, if you're waiting until the momentum is really underway before you decide that you're going to change the direction of your vibration, it's never too late, but it's like too late. It's like going about it really the hard way. That's not the path of least resistance, that's the path of most resistance. And so often people want to talk to us about those things, and we say, that's the condition. We want to keep having conversations about conditions. We want to have unconditional conversations. We want to have vibrational conversations. We want to show you that you've got power when you wake up, and we want to show you that you can maintain your power as you move through the day. We want to help you to realize, and you'll have to practice it on your own to realize that you don't have to run into somebody that is going to annoy you. You don't. You can practice a vibration that brings less and less and less and less and less of that to you. And yes, if there's a condition that's really annoying, we would always encourage that you take the path of least resistance. And sometimes that is an action you live your life. And your life's going to be
I'm going to have a vortex day, but then letting the momentum start because I know I'm.
Well, you're already practicing, even as we're visiting here, you are adding momentum to bad experiences in traffic.
Yeah, they're jumping all over the place. Where do these guys come from?
You're still doing it.
Yeah. Right now.
And as you talk about that, now you're here in a situation where you're wanting some feedback from us, and we're happy to give it.
Hear what he
But
said.
I want to ask you,
He was like, I'm
can you
getting time. Like, what are you guys
when you
talking
talk
about?
about traffic like that?
I used to think like
it
that.
doesn't feel
When
so
I
good.
first started driving,
Might
like,
feel
bro,
practical.
people
It might
come
feel
for it. Like, sometimes you'll get on the interstate and be
in some
nobody on
ways.
that
It might feel
motherfucker.
like
Well,
something
that backpack. I just noticed that.
How does it really
That's like
feel?
the
How does it really
all
feel to
that
think
or
about
nah, what is that? Good Burger?
uncomfortable traffic?
Would that be Good
All
Burger?
that Good Burger, yeah, that's that era.
Yeah.
Do you need
Y'all
to
ready?
have a nice peaceful ride?
I think it'll be best because
Well, what we mean is, Esther really likes to watch the race.
Go, Momo. Go.
When the car is going really fast.
love you, baby.
And she likes thinking about how
Love you, Ryan. Have a good day, baby.
efficiently. One day, I was driving from Nashville to and
He said bye. He said bye.
they were in
Love
the
y'all.
car, and Esther was driving. And all of a sudden, she looked in her rearview mirror, and from behind, there were a dozen, or maybe more, cars coming very fast up behind her. So she just held herself steady because they were coming like a cluster. And it looked like they were in all lanes. And they were coming fast up behind her. So she just moved over and maintained her speed and said to Jerry, look at what's coming. And as they went past, they must have been doing 100 miles an hour, maybe more. The freeways were not empty, but they were not crowded. And this cluster of cars
right here.
came around them. They were racing cars. They all had markings on them. There was a
Still
group of
see the
people on their
shit.
way somewhere.
Yeah, that's new.
And they
That's what I
were
said.
feeling
But
their
when I had rode
vitality
past
on
it
the
coming
freeway.
down, I had just seen the balloons. I didn't notice the
And
candles.
Esther's first response was,
That's brand
have
new.
they
That
lost
just
their
happened.
minds?
I'm talking about you can still see the
And then Jerry
accident.
said,
Yeah.
look at them.
I noticed that on the ground. It was all
So Esther was
black
watching
and
them
looked like
for the brief
car was
time
on
she could
fire.
still see them. The efficiency with which they were moving in and out of lanes. And Jerry said, my bet is we would be safer with that cluster of people around us than any other cluster of people around us, because they are really intentional about what they are doing, and they are really skilled at what they are doing. They are really flying high. Something was born in Esther that day. She thought, I want to feel like that when I drive. I want a car that will do what my mind wants to do. I want to be able to put that car right where I intend to put that car. So what we're getting at is that you don't get to decide what's right traffic and what's wrong traffic. What you get to decide is how you blend in. You don't get to decide what's right traffic about anything. What's the right and wrong behavior, action, or interpretation, or belief about anything. You just get to choose for yourself. And when you align with yourself, then everything around you will accommodate what you are now in alignment with, you see. And so, relaxing into the diversity. Maybe there is not a better subject to talk about contrast and diversity and variant of intentions than in a situation where you're talking about traffic. Esther saw a Mythbusters episode the other day. And she was so eager to see it once she realized what they were going to talk about, because these are questions that she has had for a very long time.
Hey, baby man.
So it was traffic studies, and they had a four-way stop where they had a lot of cars who were stopping and going and stopping and going and stopping and going, and in a 15-minute period of time, they counted them. And then they had the same cars stopping and going and stopping and going, but this time instead of stop signs, there was one man who was directing them. And Esther has thought before that if someone is directing, that it would be faster, that more cars would go through. But it was not faster. It was significantly faster for every individual to make their own decision about when they were going. Many more cars went through when individuals were making their decision. And then they took the same intersection and they made it a roundabout so that there was no stopping. But they just allowed for 15 minutes cars to go through the roundabout. And this time, even more got through. That was the most significant. There was no stopping. There was no directing from anyone else, and there was every individual making their decision. Esther loved knowing that. She's been wondering about that for a very long time. It makes her want to trust the other drivers who are making their decisions, because it was better for the whole when all of the individuals were making the decisions for themselves. Then there was another one where they were testing whether you would get to your destination faster if you stayed in your lane rather than jumping all around. Well, Jerry and Esther have had this argument for as long as she can remember, because it never seemed that they were in the right lane. As soon as they would move over there, that lane would slow down. As soon as she would get over there, she would say, I was in a lane that was going, and now you've got me over here, and now look where we are. I've been watching that big bus, and look where he is. It's a continual conversation that they were having. And so they took a long ride. It was about a 70-mile ride in very busy traffic that Esther knows well, near San Francisco. And the person who stayed in the lane arrived 1 minute later than the person who jumped around. And the person who jumped around was really feeling a lot of stress, because she was risking her life on many occasions as she was jumping in and out. And there were a lot of what you were gesturing a little bit ago that were directed her way as she was moving around. And so what we're getting at here is that everyone just has to stop trying to control what everybody else is doing. And it left Esther with this feeling, and it's something that we've been wanting to express to all of you for a long time, that if left to your own individual devices, you will eventually do what's best for the whole. This is the message that we most want to give to you. You don't have to wait for anyone else to figure this out. You don't even have to wait for them to get tuned in, tapped in, turned on. We're not talking about a traffic scenario where everyone's in the vortex and flowing with ease down the highways. We're talking about you being in the vortex. We're talking about you being in alignment with Source. We're talking about you being in the flow of who you are and consistently enough that you begin to follow those impulses enough. Hesitation is an indication of resistance within you. Ambivalence is an indication of resistance within you. The push-pull of your vibration, the contradiction in your vibration is the only thing. I want to shout it, it's so important. It is the only thing that ever hinders you. It's not the other drivers. They are not your enemy. You are. You are your enemy. You are your enemy in the traffic of life, you see. You are the only enemy you have in the traffic of life, because you are the only one who really can use any obstacles that will hinder you in any way. It's only vibrational obstacles that you are wanting to be aware of, because as you get the vibrational obstacles out of your way, then the other ones are non-existent. Have it least resistant.
When I'm shaking, it's actually shaking. It's kind of.
It's an extension of how you feel, and you'll get it back. But you don't even have to be shaking your fist. Shaking your fist is a letting loose. It's a more evolved example of how you are feeling. But your vibrational output is enough. The universe is responding to what you need, not what you say and not what you do. The universe is responding to the vibration that is at the basis of your feeling. So what you're looking for is not perfect traffic. You're looking for a good mood. You're not looking for perfect drivers. You're looking for a happy heart. You're looking for lighthearted. You're looking for tension-free. But practice it on the things that are easiest first. And before you know it, you'll have it very most. You want your knee-jerk response to be a knee-jerk response from alignment. So you want it to be humor or dexterity. You want it to be really good driving. You want it to be intuitive driving. You want it to be inspired driving. In other words, an inspired driver in a whole nest of traffic can have a lot of fun. In other words, really, you're so interesting. Humans are so interesting. Love you so much. That you're bored and
About the knee-jerk response type shit. That's the video.
The original Peloton bike offers more motivation.
Great job, team!
That's the one I was talking about. Well, at least she probably talks about knee-jerk reactions in some of her other videos, but she was talking about it from the standpoint of like, stop focusing on your problems and having a knee-jerk reaction every time, you know, you see people do that shit or whatever, because now you just focusing on your problem at that point when you having a knee-jerk reaction from that standpoint versus having a knee-jerk reaction because you know, like really it's intuition or a gut feeling at that point, but now you're having that same, this is when your impact is made the most type shit, you feel me? So rather than always looking for a reason to be offended, you looking for an opportunity, basically. Or you open to your opportunity and you manifesting that shit. Versus you looking for it, shit is all, you know, it's always gonna be a situation of looking for it. You know what I'm saying? Like people want freedom, they gonna always be fighting for freedom. You know what I'm saying? Rather than living in freedom, like just live that shit. And then when people try to impede upon your freedom, then you address that shit. But still, regardless, dude, like our government can say the hell they want to say, but if my mentality ain't that, it ain't that. That's how I look at that shit. And I think people been doing that for a while, like being like, you know what? I know what this like, but you gotta know what they saying over there though. Not like you gotta be all the way in tune with that shit, but know what your opposite is. You know what I'm saying? Enough to know when you stepping outside your boundaries and you stepping into some shit that you like, nah, that ain't. That's gonna put boundaries on me. You feel me? That's not leaving me boundless. That's got me living in a state like, look at my car behind me, boy. Send it to, well, she probably sent it to me. Looking through my rear view. Haters, I can hear you. Y'all see that boy back there? That boy back there. That Tesla boy. Yeah, I heard my brother Domo talking about, you know, how bros is having knee-jerk reactions as well as sisters having knee-jerk reactions in response to each other and the interactions we've been having lately versus, you know, looking for understanding where these problems come from or why we responding to each other, why we offended by the things that each other say. I was listening to, I ran across a little short video of Robert Greene this morning. He was talking about how, you know, a lot of our interactions with our parents, it's when we're young, it's a lot of sexual energy there. Not like people having sex with their parents, but it leads, you know, like we always talk about it in the black community in a different way, but it leads to who you choose as a mate. So, you know, some people might find themselves, well, majority of people find themselves in a situation where you're attracted to the shit that's gonna hurt you, but the shit that's good for you, you're not attracted to. And that's what I'm working on as far as his habits. Remembering, you know, you was telling me about that book, The Atomic Habits. Like paying attention to the different things that you do every day can just keep you from creating bad habits. What'd you say, son? Huh?
I ain't leaving just yet.
You know your street.
Yeah. Gonna be good directions.
You're gonna be good with directions.
And that's very good. You don't want to not know where you're going.
I got a sense of direction, but when it comes to these city layouts, I don't know. I'll be like, you know how people be like the subconscious and the conscious, like I got a good subconscious direct sense of direction. Consciously I be wanting to know the layout of these cities sometimes. But I do battle with that shit, like my mind be like, why put all that shit in your mind when you got, you know, you need to leave room for other shit, you feel me?
To the crosswalk, fuck it.
Huh?
Pull up to the crosswalk. Can I sit here for like 3 minutes and then get out?
Pull up to the crosswalk while we doing this shit, though.
What? I ain't all the way up this weekend.
Like saying, I feel like being in a fishbowl when you right here at the crosswalk, like everything. But it is what it is, I guess.
I'm about to get out. I'm here. No more down the floor.
That's part of that knee-jerk reaction shit. Like, as much as, you know, I can say, like, I don't like when motherfuckers put me in fucked up predicaments, I still just be like, alright, let me learn a new level today. Still, though, I do be peeping how sometimes people just be like, I don't give a fuck. And it's like, damn, but if you put a motherfucker in some uncomfortable shit, they don't like, they gonna flip the fuck out. It's like the same people that make a big deal out of their comfort be the same motherfuckers that put other people in uncomfortable positions because you so rigid. But you don't even think like that though. Like you don't realize that you being so rigid is putting somebody else in an uncomfortable position because it's gotta be your way or no way type of shit. And so now they gotta give towards what you want and not have no say. Which with any human being is gonna feel like, what the fuck? It's like, I guess, well not I guess, I know I had to go through certain relationships before now in order to recognize this, because certain signs ain't gonna even fuck with you if they feel like you trying to tell them what to do. But at the same time, when you a leader in a situation, you have to still figure out how to direct them or get them in a certain direction to where we don't just grow the fuck apart. Or you ain't out in danger because we done separated type of shit. Like, people don't realize, as much as they keep selling this single mom shit to motherfuckers who have decent relationships, I ain't talking about people in tumultuous and chaotic relationships where they probably should have never been together to begin with, but just like the Robert Greene shit, they attracted to each other because shit that happened when they was children and they never checked. I ain't talking about those situations, but I'm talking about the situation where it's halfway decent, right? Yeah, how you think just because it was programmed into society to make them single moms feel, you know, normalized or a part of society, it'll have another motherfucker feeling like shit, I could just be single out here. But you don't look at the statistic of the success rate of the children that come from that situation. Like, they say over 7, I forget exactly what year it was, but the most recent one I think was like the early 2000s. But they said the success rate of most most single parent homes is like less than 74. No, not the success. The infinite destruction, like of the children that come out of that, is like 74%. Like that's too fucking high. You know what I'm saying? For me to chance it. But I feel like with us growing the way that we have as people, we have created this I wouldn't say gray area, but a new lane called co-parenting, to where it's like it kills the cycle. Pay attention. Well, don't pay attention to people that irk your niggas. Let that shit be, man. Let that shit be, man. Yeah, family, I appreciate y'all coming through. We still gonna keep chopping through what we do. It's another segment of Rolling with Gold. Just talking about how the things that we let trigger us, that should be deep, you know? At the same time, once we recognize what it is, we recognize the energy that we gotta defeat within us. Like right now, y'all keep hearing me do different pauses because I'm noticing different actions people making that's kind of unnecessary and as well as distracting. Only reason why the distraction ain't all that great is because it's like, you know, I'm focused on something that's necessary. But be that as it may, you know, we about to get underway. You good? You done caught a cold on me, Junior. I ain't even been gone that long. I'm gonna get it up out you, though. You gonna get that cold up out of that main thing. Okay? We gonna get that cold up out of him. Just trying to work on these knee-jerk reactions, son. Not letting life get to us. But like I be telling you, we gotta breathe. When stuff be happening, gotta keep breathing. I love you, man. You're a trip. Like I told you, you getting everybody together. And everybody said, man, I'm finna change my diet like Junior. I need to get my life together. I appreciate you, man. Yeah. That's big boss stuff right there, man. You being a good example and making other people like, dang, I need to change my life too. Before I wind up sick and can't do nothing. But here it is, like people gotta realize they be mistreating their body. It just so happens you so young and pure to the point your body let us know real fast, nope, don't be doing that. And instead of being like most people acting like they can't learn from people younger than them, I say, you know what? I'm gonna learn something from Junie this time. I take a page out of Junie book. I'm gonna make the necessary changes. I'm gonna make the changes that's necessary for me to be successful. Otherwise, I'm the reason for my own demise. Take your future in your own hands. I think I heard that man say in that movie, The Pursuit of Happiness, he said, don't ever let nobody tell you what you can and you can't do. Don't ever. Ain't nothing you can't do. Some people's spirits done been broke. So they gonna tell you, son, they gonna say you can't do this. But I'm gonna tell you this. You cultivate your spirit, get your energies right, get your resources up, and it ain't gonna be nothing you can't do in this life. Tell me. More than likely, your daddy gonna have all your resources put up for you. Cause I got them things on deck for you. Cause I'm not paying attention to no nonsense. Daddy ain't out here wasting money on bull. So you ain't gonna have nothing. I know when I grew up, I was like, man, these people ain't put up nothing for me. But I wasn't mad though. I had to get on the ball. But overall, I recognize my parents did the best they could. Yes, they did. The best they could. And they put me in a better position than I realized even at this moment. You feel me? I'm studying more realizing the benefits of my conditioning. You know what I'm saying? And even the different things that I was exposed to that led for me to get close to even more information. Like, my father put me up on Muhammad Ali. And, you know, that led to a little bit of everything after that. But it's amazing. It's truly amazing to be still here and known as one of the great ones, because I come from some great people. I even had some great friends that's no longer here no more. We out here doing it. Sure, for sure. Trying to drink some tea today, Junior? You might need a little tea. You gotta look cold. Might need to get you some tea. Let mama give you a bath yesterday? Huh? Oh, got you a little bath in? Look at the exception today. Got you a little bath in. Gotta stay clean, man. Gotta keep that little bottom clean. So you don't keep getting sick or whatever. Good old sun coming out. Look, the sun coming out. That's crazy. You be in the big city, and people be just riding on bikes next to your car and stuff. Like, what in the world? Y'all can tell I'm a country boy.